In May of 2002, Principal Chief Chad Smith
I have always believed that the great Creator had a great design for my people, the Cherokees. I have been taught that from my childhood up, and now in my mature manhood, I recognize it as a great truth. Our forces have been dissipated by the external forces. Perhaps it has been just a training, but we must now get together as a race and render our contribution to mankind. We are endowed with intelligence. We are industrious. We are loyal. And we are spiritual. But we are overlooking the particular Cherokee mission on earth. For no man nor race is endowed with these qualifications without a designed purpose. Redbird Smith, 1918. Today, the prosperity and the excellence that the Cherokee Nation and its people have earned time and time again in their long existence from antiquity to the present is the same challenge that our ancestors faced with incredible will to not just survive, but to flourish. This is the legacy that has been handed to us. Now, it is our turn to step up and meet the challenge to prosper and excel once more as a people, a culture, a society, and a nation.
Birds bring the messages of loved ones to me. Now all creation and the elders I see, taking me by the hand and guiding us all. Thank you, Creator, Idi Jale God.
More like reading for us here.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. I have invocation by Councilman Martin.
God, you be with him. Time of need in his life, and that you bless him now. In Christ's name, amen. Amen.
Next item is roll call.
John Quinton.
Here.
Harold Long.
Here.
John Garvin.
Here.
Charles Thompson.
Here.
Ralph King Jr.
Here.
John Keenan. John Fisher.
Here.
Nick Flagg.
Here.
Jesse Martin. Stephanie Shepherd. Elijah Shophouse. Robert F. Scott. David Gordon.
We have a level of presence. We have a quorum.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I need to bring your attention to the fact that I hold a property from the Elijah Shophouse to cast her vote this evening.
Mr. President, I also have a proxy for Bill Angler. He's on official business in Phoenix, Arizona. He said the temperature is 109 this afternoon, no shade.
Okay, for the record, Article 5, Section 11, Constitution of the Cherokee Nation, the chair does not recognize proxy votes. The enactment shall have been approved by a majority of members in attendance, so that will be on record. Okay, next item is approval of minutes of previous meeting, May 12th, 2003, regular session.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes.
Chairman.
Okay.
Like one addition, this was not only business taken, but I do want it noted in here. You mentioned about Mr. David Fishing-Hawk, who won his gold medal. Like it to state in here that he did give his gold medal to the Cherokee Nation.
Any questions, comments? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? The minutes have been approved. Next item, State of the Nation.
Giving my honor to appear in front of you for the State of the Nation is June 16th, 2003. Upcoming events: the Trail of Tears drama opens Saturday night at the amphitheater. The council is invited to a special benefit opening. Events begin at 5:30. The council has been very supportive of the Heritage Center. This will be a great opportunity to see the good work they are doing. Other events: community meeting at Cherokee at July at 6 p.m. Thursday, June 26th. On July 27th, we'll have a ribbon cutting for the low-income tax elderly project in Stillwell at 1 p.m. Next Monday, Claude Allen, the Deputy Secretary of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, will visit the Cherokee Nation. Mr. Allen is visiting the Cherokee Nation because he wants to see our programs in Indian Country firsthand. I invite the council to join us as we give Mr. Allen a very friendly Cherokee welcome. For more information, you can contact Tracy Littleday at extension 2552. Noteworthy accomplishments. While we're on the subject of health, we have a huge announcement to make tonight. For the first time in our history, the Cherokee Nation has earned a major national health accreditation. Last week we received notice that our health facilities received the AAHC accreditation. That means our health clinics provide the highest quality of medical care to our Cherokee patients. This accreditation shows what we've known all along. Our Cherokee Nation healthcare workers take the time to treat every one of our citizens with the top quality medical attention that they deserve. So our medical staff, we always know, especially with our health committee, that funding is always short. We must continually press our delegation in Congress to fund the mandate of good health care within the Cherokee Nation. It is quite an accomplishment to receive this kind of accreditation with the scarce resources that we have. And what that really means, we have very dedicated employees doing the best they can with the scarce resources they have. Also, the Cherokee Nation has been awarded more than $216,000 from the Department of Interior. This money comes from a settlement on a lawsuit against DOI for holding back our roads money in previous years. I applaud our staff and our government resources and justice departments for protecting the Cherokee Nation's interests and making sure we are able to receive these very scarce resources. Since our last council meeting, we've certainly had an election. The results are been in. There was a lawsuit filed last week contesting that election. There's 2 petitions filed. One of those petitions was dismissed this afternoon for the principal chief and the deputy principal chief's case. The other petition will begin hearing on the election commission's offering of evidence as to 3 districts that are being contested. That evidence should begin tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Thank you very much for your attention.
Next item is action on finished business, none pending. Next one is committee reports. Council. Okay, first one will be Constitution Convention Commission. Anybody here for that? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I see the chair of that committee and the vice chair both absent. I just might want to give, I do see one of the commissioners is in attendance. Marion, would you like to give a brief report for us for the committee?
The chair of the committee, Charles Ford, is in Washington, D.C. tonight, and the deputy should be here, Todd Hendrick. I don't know why he isn't here. Our amendment did pass, so we don't have to worry about getting it signed by the President of the United States or his representative. We're happy about that. And now we plan to start educational meetings on Saturdays. We'll do 2 in the morning at 2 different towns and 2 in the afternoon, and that will go on until we get everybody educated who wants to hear the differences in the new Constitution, and hopefully there will be interest. We have a folder that has the old Constitution on one side, the new Constitution on the other, and down through the middle, in red letters, it explains the difference. And if you didn't get one of those in your Cherokee Phoenix newspaper, there were inserts. We're going to have some more, and we will have them at the meeting, and I believe that they're very clear and understanding. And I didn't know I was going to do this, so I didn't bring my list of where the meetings would be, and I'm very sorry that I can't read them off to you, but we'll try to get them posted different places so everybody will know where they are. Okay? Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Atkins. Okay, next, Housing Authority, Mary James.
Good evening. David can't be here tonight. He is in Seattle with negotiated rulemaking on the Nahasta, so he asked me to sit in for him. As you know, we've been in the process of reducing our staff. Our volunteer reduction in force, we had 96 volunteers take that. We started with 402 employees. We're down to 298. There was a difference of 8 in there, and those people either resigned or were let go for various reasons. So, the work group that's been that is a joint effort between the tribe and the Housing Authority. We'll have a draft of recommendations to the board at the board meeting on June 24th. They'll be given a couple of weeks to digest that, make any other changes they want to make, or any recommendations they have, and then we'll finalize that and either have another special board meeting, or they will make a determination at the board meeting in July, which will be the 15th, our regular board meeting. We do have the Stillwell dedication. I believe the chief mentioned it on the 27th at 1 o'clock for the low-income housing tax credit. They did tell me that the Stillwell Elderly Project got the Apex Award. There's one of those given, and OFA gives, the Oklahoma Housing Finance Agency gives that out. There's only one of those, and the Stillwell Project got that for the elderly housing. So we're happy about that. And also in the Stillwell Project, we already have 30 occupants in that project. So we're real happy about that. There's 33 at the J Elderly Project. And if any of you got the Phoenix, the Housing Authority had an ad in there for our Title VI program, and I guess people are reading their newspapers because we have been getting a lot of calls about our Title VI money out there that's available for low-income families to get a 4% loan for 30 years. So that's a good deal. If you know anybody that needs a house, let us know. That's all I have. Do you have any questions? I don't have those numbers. I don't. I can get those if you want to. Okay.
Any more questions or comments? Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome.
Next, Cherokee Nation Enterprises, David Stewart.
Good evening. I'm pleased to say that operating results for C&E continue to be strong, although not as strong due to the absence of blackjack. So we expect earnings to still be good, but it will not maintain on the growth that we've had over the past 6 months. Our operating results for April of 2003 were 20% above the same period for the previous year, and our net income has doubled for the first 7 months of this year compared to the first 7 months of last year. So we're doing very good as compared to previous periods. Our official grand opening for Fort Gibson will be next month, and we will let you know about that. We are currently laying asphalt for our customers in a new parking lot, so we'll invite you to visit that over the next 30 days. Fort Gibson is still performing very well financially for us. We're working with the Gaming Commission to arrive at a blackjack game that will meet the requirements of state law, and we expect to present that at the next Gaming Commission meeting and have a result. We are targeting over the next 30 days to try to determine whether or not the game can still be played at a level that our customers will like it. So at the next council meeting, we should be able to report the status of that. Our effort to negotiate a compact with the state stalled in the House of Representatives with a long, drawn-out negotiation, a very positive negotiation with the state. So that is in a holding pattern at this time, and we really don't know where that's going to go at this point, but we'll keep you posted on that. That's my report. Are there any questions? Yes, we have. We started approximately 30 days ago with the foundation, and the piers are in, at least for the hotel portion, and will continue for the expanded casino. So we are in process, and things are going as scheduled. We're scheduled for an opening. We expect potentially September. We lost a little bit of time due to some weather, But things are going as planned, and we expect a great facility.
Are you planning on adding on any more roads? Any more construction down there?
Yes, it's possibly we will. We need to adjust the front of that. If you know the way that facility was built, it was constructed in such a fashion that the drive-through is on the side. So we're trying to come up with a little more appealing front to that faces I-40. So I would...
Tearing down that fence up a lot.
Yes, sure did. Yes. We're trying to get that facility's front to look like it should, and I think we're a ways off from that, but it is high on the list to make that a much nicer appealing to I-40. Yes.
David, just wanted to know how you were coming. Saw that ad in Phoenix about the long distance learning on the Harris program, and how many folks have you gotten that have inquired about that, and you're starting to get set up in that?
Right now, we have limited the program to the master's degree program because of some space requirements. And at this time, I believe we have 10 to 12 people that have applied for that. We will start the undergraduate program after we move into the new hotel and have that learning center available. But I believe it's 10 or 12. Higher Learning here is coordinating all that, so I don't have the specific numbers.
Are those 10 to 12 already employees, or are they from outside?
I'm sorry, but I really don't know the makeup of that.
Okay. If you would forward this,
okay.
Let's see if we're getting people promoted from within.
Okay, I'll do that.
I'll ask David's question. Can you give us an update on your hiring of Native Americans?
Yes, hiring last month was 90% Native American, so we're very pleased with that. Most of which were Cherokee. I think it was 88% was Cherokee. Our overall percentage is now 65% Native American. Yes, it's gradually moving up. Our total employment is 1,025, and we're hiring due to some turnover. Every month we have a certain amount of turnover. So it's very hard to increase those overall percentages, but when you're at 90% every month, we're doing absolutely the best we can to do that. So you will see that overall percentage edge slightly higher over every month.
So on that percentage, though, David, 90% of that 65% is Cherokee. Is that right?
No, 90% of the people that we hired in, I believe it's April is what we're reporting on, were Native American, and 88% of everybody
so that would
we hired.
equal how many in numbers?
I think about our total new hires were 36, I believe.
So 90% of that 36 is what we've hired.
Yes.
And David, I'll just ask one more follow-up to that. Where have some of the recruiting plans moved forward, such as getting out into some of the areas? And I know a visit with you a while back, even offering transportation. And a lot of other casinos do that in different parts of Indian country, where they make sure there's transportation out to some remote areas where folks may not have the transportation. They could, you know, run a route up 412 to help folks work at Catoosa or different places. You guys still look at
We've
like
studied that,
or
Counselor,
hires from?
and it is a good idea. Our growing pattern is so high right now, and with what we've got on our plate, we haven't executed on that yet. But we have determined a route, which would be actually going 412 and then back. So we're working out the logistics on that. It is a good idea, and we plan to implement that.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Cherokee Nation Industry, Jim Majewski.
Good evening, Deputy Chief and members of the council.
Good evening.
I'd like to report on CNI. Our total sales for the month of May were a little over $5 million, a little down from where we were in April, but not that much. Sales year to date are approximately $54 million, and about equal to last year at this time. However, the profitability for the company is about $1.2 million, or about 30% over where we were last year at this time. So that's all pretty good news. The company is continuing to increase both in sales and in profitability. Some items of interest. We are invited to bid on the de-icing system for the Bell Boeing V-22 program. One of the things I've been trying to do is not only get us involved in old platforms or where we're doing rework, but also get us involved in some new platforms. The V-22 happens to be the, I don't know how many of you are familiar with it, but it's the one that takes off like a helicopter and then flies like an airplane. So it's been somewhat of a troublesome program, but it's I think it's a real compliment to us that Bell Boeing invited us to bid on the program. And the bids have to be submitted prior to June 30th, so we're in good shape on that. During the past month, traveled to Atlanta and attended what's called SuperCom, which is the yearly get-together for the who's who in the telecommunications industry. A lot of displays and conferences, but the real issue was the telecommunications industry and the electronics industry and the future of those industries. Basically, the telecommunication industries, what they're predicting is that it's going to be flat, if not decline, over the next 1 to 3 years. We at CNI are trying to represent additional manufacturers. In the C&D group, we've added almost 35 companies that we're representing, and we're trying to do the same thing now within telecommunications. And what my plan is to basically spread out how many manufacturers we're representing, and also where we've been just a supplier to SBC, we're going after other telecommunications companies like Verizon or Alltel or whoever else we can sell our products to. The good news in all of this is that I believe our telecommunications business is stabilized and we're actually profitable, which is it's something that I've been trying to do since I've been there. So it's a small profit. We turned about a $7,000 profit for the month of May. So that's something that's the people there have worked very hard on that. The Steve Abbott lawsuit was withdrawn by his attorney prior to the judge ruling on the merits of the case. And thus we're going to have to wait and see what the next action is by Abbott's attorneys. Currently, CNI or our attorneys are taking no further action on this. And I guess what could happen is that Abbott could refile or come in with some other type of action, but I thought him withdrawing from it was very interesting. I thought the council might be interested. I started a program within our services group. Every time I come up here and sit, I worry about some of the questions like Stephanie asked about the number of Native Americans that are employed within one of our companies, and that's our services company. And what I've done is that I have gone through our services group. We've been able to, we're just doing this in California right now, but we're able to identify doctors, nurses, EMTs, LVNs, or anybody in the medical profession that requires a license. What I've also done then is gotten a register, a roll call, or a roll of the Cherokees that are registered in California. We're trying to match those two lists, and what we're doing is then sending them notices of job openings within our California locations. So currently we have doctors and nurses, optometrists, chiropractors, EMTs in both northern, southern, and central California, and so hopefully we can start hiring some Native Americans within to our services group. The program has just started and kind of early to report on it, but it is a start. That completes my report for CNN. Any questions? Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is new business. Item number 1 is the resolution. Councilmember.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr.
President, by narrative, the purpose of the Healthy Homes Demonstration Program is to develop, demonstrate, and promote cost-effective preventive measures to correct multiple safety and health hazards in the home environment that produce serious disease and injuries in children of low-income families. These activities will be performed through identification, assessment, and remediation of such hazards. The grant request is $550,000. There is no in-kind or cash amount required. And if there's no questions, I'll put that in the form of a motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, resolution passes. Item number 2 is a resolution. Councilman Hoskins.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. This resolution is sought to fund the food distribution program for the fiscal year 2004, October 1 to 2003 through September 30th of 2004. The grant amount requested is $1,732,400, of which $75,000 is federal funds at $1,299,300, and a 25% tribal match of $433,100. Of this tribal match, $34,157 will be used for in-kind. And if I remember correctly, and Mr. Garvin, you may help me here, when we discussed this in committee, there was a question of where the additional dollars would come from. And I don't know if that question was ever answered. We talked about having it answered prior to this council meeting. I don't know if we've received that. Is there anyone here that can help us out with this cash match? Yes. Bud, would you help us?
There's actually no additional dollars if you'll compare with last year's resolution. The dollar amounts are exactly the same. That's what you gave it to us last year. So there's no change. There's no increase from last year. We just changed the dates on it is all we did.
Okay, but the question we had was the $400,000 currently in the budget to give you these dollars.
Uh-huh.
It is in the budget?
Yes, it is. The resolution passed last year, and that's,
I understand that. That was last year. That's what we're concerned about this year. I know, and we discussed this. It is identical dollars. We agree, but our concern was where the dollars are coming from, and we didn't have a firm answer at the committee meeting.
Well, I'm not in charge of allocating dollars, so I really can't. I don't feel comfortable trying to answer that portion. But it is identical to last year's proposal.
Thank you, Bud.
You're welcome.
Yes, I just asked for an answer. And I mean, I agree that the dollar figures are the same, but I'm not sure where the money's coming from, so it'd be difficult for me to put this in form of motion. That's what I'm asking. But do you know if this is time sensitive? Is this something that the grant has to be put in by a certain time? Okay. If that's the case, Mr. President, I'd ask that this item be tabled until next month.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to table item number 2. Well, next month, next agenda, right? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Okay, item number 2 is tabled. Item number 3 again is the resolution. Councilman Hoskins.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, this resolution authorizes Community Services Environmental Review Department to submit a grant proposal to the United States Department of Environmental Protection Agency. The grant will be used to develop and operate an EPA-certified and accredited tribal lead program. This will allow staff training to extend the assessment of lead testing areas and to conduct testing in target homes for the purpose of protection. The grant request is $73,858, and there is no match, and I'll put that in the form of a motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Question or comment? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, resolution passes. Okay, item number 4 again is the resolution. Councilmember Hoskins.
Mr. President, the resolution authorizing the Community Services Environmental Review Department to submit an application to the United States Housing and Urban Development Department. This grant would allow the development of a lead-based paint hazard awareness and outreach program and will be used to educate tribal members about lead-based paint hazards and the effect it could have on their children. The grant amount requested is $95,000 and there is no match, so I put this in the form of the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Questions or comments? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, resolution passes. Item number 5 again is a resolution. Councilman Hoffman.
Thank you, Mr. President. The federal grant application is submitted to the Runaway and Homeless Youth Program under the U.S. Administration for Children and Families for a request of $75,000, representing the third year of a 3-year funding cycle. If funded, the available date is September 30th, 2003. To meet a 10% match requirement, a cash match of $7,500 is requested of the Tribal Council. The continuation of funding will supplement residential operations and supportive services to runaway homeless and other troubled youth of the John A. Ketcher Youth Services Center in Tahlequah. An average of 210 youth is served annually, with the majority referred from within the 14-county area. The grant will directly benefit those youth and families in need of crisis intervention and community education. And I will put that in the form of a motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Questions, comments? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes. Item number 6 again is a resolution. Councilman Hoffman.
Thank you, Mr. President. The 2003 ICDBG funding will be used for self-help community buildings, a public service project for recreational services, and program administration's costs. And I put that in the form of a motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Questions or comments? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, resolution passes. Item number 7 is a resolution. Councilman Martin.
Mr. Chairman, this resolution authorizing a request for surety bond to be waived on Cherokee tribal land. This was on the agenda a month or so ago and went back to committee for to rehash it. I would move that this be approved.
Second motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Questions or comments? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion to waive our rules as such to deal with a resolution authorizing approval of land exchange in Delaware County between Cherokee Nation, Jacob Williams, and Janet Williams. We had a special resource committee meeting scheduled this afternoon and couldn't have a quorum, and because of the need to deal with this and for the people, if the council approve this, the people to get into the exchange, I would make a motion to waive our rules to have to deal with this.
Second motion.
Point of order, Mr. President. I think first that you're going to have to amend the agenda and then waive the rules.
I don't see anything written. It'd be up to you all to amend the agenda to do this.
Mr. Chairman, the draft, if the council take their the book and under resources and the special meeting, the legislation is on the second page. And if there's any questions, if the council approves this, we'll have Mr. Baines here that can help explain this to us.
Thank you, Bob. Where do I find that again?
Look in your book.
Resources.
Resource, tab resources.
That's it.
Mr. President, I think we need to amend the agenda first, so I make a motion we amend the agenda to include
Second.
this item.
Okay, we have a motion to amend the agenda to include this item. I have to remind everyone it takes 10 votes to amend the agenda. It's 2/3. 2/3 of 15. Full council. Am I right? I may be wrong. We're talking about full council 10. Okay. Okay, we have a motion and second to amend the agenda. Gina? This is a roll call vote.
Yes, voting by proxy.
John Fenton? Harold Moss?
No.
John Garvin?
Yes.
Charles Hopkins?
No.
Ralph King Jr.?
Yes.
John Keenan? John Fisher?
Yes.
Nick Lane?
No.
Jacob Bob Martin?
Yes.
Becky Shepherd? Yes. Nirvana Shophouse?
I have to vote a proxy, right? She asked me to vote yes.
Barbara Scott? David Copeland?
Yes.
Okay, takes 10 to amend. We got 9 to 4.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Did it take 2/3 of those present, or did it take 10 regardless of who's present?
I thought it was 2/3 of the full council. I may be wrong.
2/3 of the full council.
To amend, yeah. That's 10.
Mr. President, can I be heard? If I can advise the council a little bit more specifically what this is about. This is a effort to exchange land for 20 acres that these folks are willing to give us that adjoins tribal land in Kinley. In exchange, we would give up a old church, an old building in J that a congregation's been meeting at. We've leased it to them. And through this transfer, we would get 20 acres, and they would get this building that they're going to use for the church. And the only reason for expediting it now, they have the funds to renovate the church, and they've got people waiting to go to work and build it up. And the only thing that's left is a resolution by the council. Realty has appraised the lands, are fine, at least the title work's been done, everything's been done except the resolution by the council. And the only reason that we're trying to advance it so they can begin work on completing the church. It's been a very successful congregation, so we're trying to oblige them in helping them build a church. And so if that is information that's helpful for those who really know, I offer that for that purpose. I tend to agree that the rule of order to amend the agenda would be 2/3 of those present, but I offer that information for the council to review.
Mr. President.
I'd like to ask if there's any members of the council that, I think per the order that there'd have to be a dissension vote to ask for another count. But I'd like to, please the other counselors. We have done this in the case of another church body, and I think if we are going to do this, that we should be consistent. And if not, I would ask that we go into recess so that we can come back and look at this again. But we have done this for another group in the past.
Mr. Chairman, it would appear to me that since we're adding to acres to the land that we have already surrounded by tribal property, this would be a real good trade. I take it that the church is not surrounded by tribal land. It's just what it's sitting on is all we have. So it looked like it was a pretty good trade. The tribe paid $10,000 for the 1 acre that the church sits on in August 1975. And appraised value of the 20 acres is $13,000. $3,000 makes a lot of sense to me. If we're gaining, look like this is the way that we should go to give more value to our land. Thank you.
Question or comment? I stand to be corrected on that. But the way I read it is 2/3 of the full council.
Mr. Chairman, where do you find that at?
I don't know, I'm trying to find it.
Gina, do we have a copy of our procedures? It's not in the Constitution, so it's going to be,
It's right here. The only thing I can find is 2/3 of the entire council should agree to pass that. 2/3 of the entire council, to me, is 10.
In what?
Article 5, Section 11. So again, I stand to be corrected, but that's what I read.
Mr. Chairman, if it would help us to make this decision, I look at it as a critical time for some of these folks, and I'll add to some of what Mr. Ketcher just mentioned. Mr. Baines has pictures and documents of the properties that we're looking at, and the acreage that we would get if this was passed joins some of the land and trust in Delaware County, so it would be beneficial for both parties. And I would hope that the council would take this into consideration.
Mr. President, can I ask in the audience if there's somebody from this church represented tonight?
Trustees from the church came to the meeting tonight, but when they learned that there wasn't a quorum for the resources committee meeting and it wasn't on the agenda for tonight, it didn't appear it would be, they returned home. It was a long trip for them, and they went ahead and returned home.
What church is this?
It's called Faith Mission Church. Chester Christian is the pastor there.
Mr. Christian, we know him.
Chairman, I just want to ask if anybody has a solution to our dilemma here. Seems as though that to amend the agenda did not pass, so looks like that's the way it's going to stay unless there's some solution somewhere or somebody wants to come forward and to offer a solution.
Like I said, I stand to be corrected. I may be wrong, but on this one.
Mr. President?
Yeah.
Stephanie, did you have a solution? We recess for 5 minutes and take a new vote? Can we do that?
We've got, if anybody's willing to, yeah. We could resource this meeting because one of the things is our 2 representatives from Delaware County aren't here, even though Melvina's proxy was cast. And I just think that this is a simple issue question. It's nothing politics. These are folks that have a church that they've been meeting in. And we've had Mr. Crittenden come before us. We've had Chester come before us several times. And all they're asking, and it seems like somebody has donated this land or willing to give up their land so the church can have this property. And it's a good deal for both. And I know as Don always tells me, one of the things his priority is to always expand our land base. This is 20 acres for one. And like Jackie Bob said, this is a good time to do it. And if most of y'all have been out in some of the small churches in your area, I know up around Kenwood, they've been having a lot of folks come in, missionaries, and doing a lot of building. Steely just got a new church built about a week ago. So it's prime time. People are taking time off and having folks come in to do that. And at least the council can do, I think, just vote on this as an issue and just grant this resolution for an exchange.
Mr. Chairman, I've had a brief opportunity to review the rules of procedure on the tribal council, and I'm looking at Rule 2C, suspension of rules of procedures. It says the suspension of these rules of procedure shall require a 2/3 vote of the tribal council. Okay. It does not say of those regularly elected like it does in other areas. It just says 2/3 vote of the tribal council. Tonight we have 11 members here, but we still constitute the tribal council. Okay. So, my interpretation would be it would be 2/3 of those present at the meeting, assuming that the quorum does exist, and the quorum does exist.
Okay. Which would be 8. 2/3 of 11 is 8.
I would agree.
Like I said, I stand to be corrected. That's what
and, we don't have the benefit of our legal counsel tonight, but that would be my reading of it. So the chair wants to consider that.
I'll consider it, Joe. Like I said, I stand to be corrected because I'm not the smartest man in the world. So whatever the council wants to do, if y'all want to vote to do this, I guess the legal way would be to somebody make a motion to do this, and we'll see what go from there. Make a motion to proceed with the...
Mr. President, I make a motion we approve this exchange.
Okay, we have what we're going to do with the first vote. Like I said, the way I read the rules is just to be in the record. The way I read the rules is 2/3 of the full council, which is 10. But you read the rules as you're a lawyer, I'm not.
Well, and I'm not saying I'm the authority, but that's my reading of it. And there may be those that agree with me.
You said it's 2/3, which is...
Well, Mr. Chair, point of order. Our first procedure is that we're going to have to vote to suspend the rules then.
Yeah.
That's your interpretation.
Yeah. Okay.
We're back to the same question.
We're back to the same question. 2/3 suspend the rules. 2/3 of 11 is 8. If somebody good at math. Matter of fact, I got 7 and 0.3, which is not full, so we'll go to 8. Okay. That's my understanding, but like I said, I stand with you.
I'm not trying to stir up problems.
I'm not saying this to keep these people from changing the land or anything. I'm just what I know and what I read. So.
Mr. President,
Chuck.
I disagree with the number 8. I think it needs to have 10 to make the 2/3. However, I think if we can address this again through a motion to reconsider, there might be a different vote. I'm not sure, but I think that's the only way we can do it. And the issue is not whether this is a good deal or not. The issue is that a lot of folks haven't seen it, and I know Jackie Bob tried to have a meeting today and didn't get enough folks there in order to have a quorum. But again, the issue was this was not presented before us, and we didn't have the information we now have. And so I think the only way to do it is, the correct way is to a motion to reconsider if that's timely right now.
Mr. Chair. Motion.
Mr. Chair, I have to agree with Councilman Hopkins because the Dick Phillips case did determine about the 10 had to be the number of the quorum to pass the amended agenda and such. But if there is a dissenting vote that would like to make a motion to reconsider, I think that would be appropriate in trying to move this forward.
Yeah, because we had a stalemate right here. We got to do something. Okay, we had 9 yeses, 4 no's. I would consider somebody making an amendment to reconsider and go from there. We have to do something.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to reconsider.
Okay. Second. Okay, we have 11. We have 11 present. Again, I'm going to call for a roll call vote. This is the motion to reconsider what we voted for, amending the agenda to. No, we've amended. Yeah, to amend the agenda. Okay, let me get this straight. I'll talk about everything else now. Okay, this is a motion to reconsider to amend the agenda. Okay, we're going to 8 out of 11. That's 2/3 of 11, right?
I think the prevailing view is we need 10.
We need 10. Okay. Okay. I don't want to take it big. I'd have lost the last bit of it. Okay, we're going to need 10 out of 11. Right? Okay. Here we go. Regina.
Buxton for Buell Angling, yes.
Mayor Cooksey?
Yes.
John Quinlan?
Yes.
Charles Moss?
Yes.
John Garvin?
Yes.
Charles Thompson?
Yes.
Ralph Keenan?
Yes.
John Keenan? John Fisher?
Yes.
Nick Wayne?
Yes.
Jake Bob Martin?
Yes.
Becky Shepherd? Yes. Melvina Shophouse?
Francisco Melvina, yes.
Charles Scott? David Thornton?
Yes.
We had 13 yeses, 2 by proxy. Again, Mr. Chair does not recognize, but we got our 10. Okay, now, again, is this a resolution? Jackie Bob, are you ready to do
Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Item number 8.
Item number 8, this is a resolution authorizing the approval of a land exchange in Delaware County between Cherokee Nation and Jacob Williams and Janet Williams, and I'll move for approval.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Question, Mr. President.
Okay, all in favor?